Lakewood Field is the oldest active professional baseball park in the country. It was built in 1910. Coincidentally, it was inspired by Forbes Field in Pittsburgh, where a lot of Negro Leagues history was also made. Who knew that it would become such hollow ground? Because it has bared history to not only many great major league moments and many great major league ball players, but it was also home for the Negro League's Birmingham Black Barons, another team born out of the ashes of American segregation that brought great joy to the African-American community there in Birmingham for many, many years. It is a majestic old stadium, and I'll never forget walking on those grounds for the very first time. Satchel Paige, Josh Gibson, Buck O'Neil, they all played on that field. And man, if those walls could talk, how special it would be. Willie Mays, who as a 17-year-old walked on that very same field, patrolling center field for the Birmingham Black Barons. No one would have guessed that this budding, inspiring ball player would become recognized, arguably, as Major League Baseball's greatest player. Where I grew up in the country, you know how you learn to swim? They threw you in the pond. And you either sank or you swam. And that was much the case for these young athletes as they were moving into the Negro Leagues. You got thrown right into the pond with those older ball players, and you can either play or you can't play. Now, Willie Mays was a tremendous athlete. He's quarterback in high school. Ultimately, he had to cut a deal with the high school so that he wouldn't lose his eligibility for football. This is a 17-year-old kid playing with grown men, and he more than held his own. They kind of eased him into it early on, but you can't hold that kind of talent down. No, this talent was just exploding at the seams. As a matter of fact, his first game with the Birmingham Black Barons, young Willie Mays collected 2 hits. On the way to what was about to become one of the most dynamic careers in baseball history.
Catch me out your bucket naked, fresh drawn.
Well, what made Willie Mays so special was that he was a 5-tool kind of baseball player, and he did everything with grace and flair. As my friend Buck O'Neil would say, he was better than that.
But the crowd still loves Willie.
Willie Mays was never booed, even in the opponent's ballpark. That's the reverence that people had for Willie Mays, because he was so affable and he was so likable. Here's Willie Mays walking through the streets of Harlem, playing stickball with the kids. I mean, how special would that be to see that happen today? So you combine all of that with off-the-chart talent. You can see why Willie Mays is so beloved. People measure times in their lives by Willie Mays. They named their kids after Willie Mays. That's how special he was.
A year the Stars reached new milestones and rewrote the record book.
Well, Willie Mays is easily one of the most iconic figures in baseball history. But before he was the Say Hey Kid, his nickname was Buck, Young Buck. 1948 Negro League World Series, the Birmingham Black Barons are facing those vaunted Homestead Grays that were still a juggernaut. And can you imagine at 17, you're in the midst of a Negro League World Series as a 17-year-old, and you're right in the middle of the action.
Far back, the ball it in.
And there's young Willie Mays helping the Barons win the lone game that they won in that series with a walk-off I am sure it ranks as one of those special moments out of a career that is filled with many special moments. But at 17, you walk it off in a Negro League World Series game. That's pretty doggone special.